Mm-hmm. 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 Let's go. I wake up to a little bit of drool on my pillow, feel like it's gonna be.
Guy that I met at the job, he brought up the plumbing and but G, we this is one of our platform we do. We have conversation about, you know, it's called Three Kings, but we have conversation about real conversation. But I didn't get a chance to ask you that question. What is a man and what is a husband? What is a strong man and what is a husband? And
I mean, I was just at a customer house, bro. I was done the job probably like almost 2 hours ago. But I be generally conversating with people, females, men and women of all race, only generally because like I be just trying to see people different perspectives and outlooks out on life. So most of the time I kinda already know what's the general cause of our flaws on why we see things the way we see it and the way we are the way we are. Initially because one, I'm living in it, two, I'm a product of it. But the only thing that separates me versus the common person is the will and determination. Like how I see myself in a wide range span. If I had this thing already figured out, how I would look is how I already see myself. So if I was already successful with different streams of income, you know, multiple wives, organization, uh, and in a wide span branch, my influence on what I say, or just me being in the facility of some people, would change their whole spectrum of how they view life because I'm more like a beacon of life in the same show. So
that's
that's
amazing. But that's amazing. The question I want to ask you was, what is a husband and what is a strong man?
oh, with a strong man, we live off mainly 3 to 4 main principles, which is priorities. We drive off priorities, having responsibilities, and learning from your flaws with a knowledge of wisdom and knowledge and wisdom. Like when you take on those things, as far as if I was talking to somebody young, I say what describes a man or what makes a man from a teenager, other than his age, is more so the wisdom. And your wisdom is based off of you going around knowing what to do versus the knowledge of knowing how to do it. So if you had a lot of knowledge, meaning you book smart, but you lack wisdom, then more likely you don't everything that you're learning is unknown to you because you never experienced it. So in the large sum, you're like a renegade, a ticking time bomb because you have no regards of what you're learning, what you're putting out, what you can do, and how impactful and destructive it could be amongst your peers and people around you. So a person with a lot of knowledge, like wisdom, is a renegade. He's harmful to himself and the people around you because you have no care for what the result of your actions could more likely lead to. But a person with a lot of knowledge and wisdom is more likely what I try to strive towards becoming because with both you can generally conquer the world. If I show you how to do something, tell you how to do it, and I tell you my outcome, how I led myself to knowing this and what it prevents from it not happening. Far as like it's so much stuff we thrive off not having as a people, race, generational wealth, all that other stuff. Is like they can't even fathom their reality of what it would be like more if we had it already. Like it's so mind-boggling the fact that the shit don't even bother us, and that's what annoys me the most. And I'm talking to my older siblings, I'm talking to my older peers. It's like they don't want to be held responsible on building the foundation for us to build on. So they want to rather have me do it first, so that way it will come off as not so harsh for them, and then they go off from that. And I say the definition of a man again is based off your actions, your morals, and have responsibility, what you drive over to take care of, being able to protect, provide for your family, structure, and everything else.
What is a husband?
A husband is more so all the same. I say what I look at far as marriage and all that stuff. That's nothing more but than a business contract. I thrive off of three, maybe really four main people: Dr. Umar Johnson, Brother Polite, Claude Anderson, and Dr. Claude Anderson and Dick Gregory. So those four people, like I recite a lot of their quotes. I put it in my own word perspective on how I see it and what they mean. But Polite say generally, love is law and family is the business. So if you love somebody, that's generally not based off of the way you feel. I say it's generally based off your actions. So when you're willing to just show me how much you love or love you have for me, it's based off what you're willing to do for me. Feelings are past. That shit is only like temporarily. But your action speaks value of your character.
Man, bro, you saying like that, you say
Love is love, family is the
love is
business.
love. It's like business. Like if you love me,
Love
what
is
are you
love.
gonna willing to do for me? Like what kind of
Love
action
is
are you gonna imply?
right. Love is law and family is the business. So for instance, if me and you like establish some kind of relationship where though we really like are eye to eye on what a lot of things we talk about or agree upon a lot of common things, I don't only not look at you as a brother. I mean, as a friend, I look at you as a brother. You see how that works? So when
Mm-hmm.
you value someone's relationship, you give them family titles because love is law and family is the business. So when we work towards a common goal on focusing on building something, like when we say we start a business proposal, a business plan, or whatever the case may be, we don't only have a friendship with each other or like family bond with each other. Now I deemed you like my business partner, so it's valued more if we ever was to go about departing or going our separate ways. We would value our friendship more because when we're working on building, it shows. And then when we're actually working on accommodating each other, it also shows.
I'm taking note right now, bro. I'm taking note right now, man. It's like you're saying it like that. Love is law.
Love is law and family is the business.
Because some people cannot, and you say your family, they expect you to go out there and be the first one to bring it to pass. But they sit back, but at the same time, they don't understand is this. You go get it, you establish it, they're gonna hate on you.
But the
They're
thing
gonna say
is,
you change on them.
but the thing about it is though, like what I say to that in that regard is like we lie to each other. We've been doing it so well that it became normal. Like I can't
Yep.
say I love you. It's like I can't say I love you, but I don't care for your financial status or well being. So like we see each other when we see each other, you don't know if you may see a motherfucker again due to whatever trauma we may run across. So I put that into what I was saying back early to you. If I can provide information on how you can help retain or better your family's income, or at least point you to a better direction, paying job.
Being in being in this business, because these are my business partners too. Been knowing these guys for 4 years. A business partner introduced me to Mr. Relling, and since then we've been stuck together. We see a business, we see anything that we want to work on, because whatever I have, it can benefit him. Whatever he finds can benefit me. And we have built a bond, and that's how we have this podcast, like Three Kings, meaning that we're not only kings, but we're talking to other kings to pick their brains, to bring forth a community of awareness. We're not doing this, having our conversation to believe anybody, but at the same time for us to be aware of what are we doing, where are we going, what do we want out of life, what do we want from our children, what do we want to live for our children. All we're doing is just living bills and frustration and getting it from the mud mindset. And when I hear, like when you speak, I want to make people understand that we are not in this position to, we're telling our truth. We're telling our truth, we're telling our experience. Not only that, we're telling that, okay, we have heard this for the past 50 plus years, that this is what a man is, this is what a family is. But what we've been learning for the past 50 years, what beneficial have helped us. We don't know about life insurance. We don't know about, okay, having credit. All of us come and sit down. I hear my older brother, I hear my sister, I hear my younger brother. I see my two cousins. We sit down and we start having business proposal. How is your credit? We're looking to get this building. We're looking to get a duplex building. Let's fix like 5 of us our credit. Let's put, if it's every 2 weeks, $200. Then next year we go have it. We take care of 5 people credit. Those 5 people credit, go and get an LLC in one family name. They want the people to be just keep a 9 to 5, don't have no ambition, don't have no drive, just wait for their grave. But family that produce, that protect, that leave something. Because why do you think people think the way they think? Oh, they went to school, it's a program. So when you become unprogrammed yourself, you're open for opportunity. When you become unprogrammed yourself, you're not looking at the little money you're having and scared to spend it because you don't have no possibility of a vision that, okay, this $1,000 in the next year, it can grow to at least $2,000 or $3,000. But if I can keep you dumb, deaf, and just stuck in your ways, guess what's gonna happen? Your children are gonna suffer. So the biggest threat in the United States is a family that grow, that build, that become productive. A family that doesn't produce it don't bring no threat. Does it? Can a family that all the generation, grandmother didn't leave you nothing, grandfather didn't leave you nothing, they didn't give you no land, they didn't leave nothing behind. Then when they die, you gotta pay for their burial. Is that threatened to any nation? No, it's not threatened. But somebody that's able to take care of all this information and teach the next generation this skill. I met a guy that's 21 years old, like last year. The boy got $2 million in his account. And when I was bringing a business opportunity to him, he said, I was learning this when I was only 10 years old. My grandfather teach his father how to be a day trader. So if you want to look at a threat for not only in the United States, but all around the whole world, the biggest threat is an individual that is bringing change and starting from their family. But the question is this: family, some of the family people, they want to stick in their own way. They don't want to get out of their own way. Poverty, love company. When there's no vision, the people perish. So how can a parish people be a threat to a country that have no vision? People that have the vision, that is a threat. You are a threat. to your own family. Start from your household. Because when you keep on asking them those questions, they don't want to keep on hearing you telling them that they ain't doing nothing. They don't want to have that. Oh, then he go again. He come with another business. Oh man, he keep asking the same question. Man, I don't like that cousin, man. I don't like my nephew, man. I don't like my godson, man. Because every time he come around me, he let me know that I have no vision. So I'm ready to get to be perished. People don't want to know that they're not going nowhere. People don't want to know that. If I'm lying, fellas, tell me. Is somebody that's have no vision, is that a threat to any country, any government? Maybe it's just me.
No, you're right. Like that's. I mean, we call them like, well, like, cause I do this a lot. We call them motherfuckers spiritual vampires. People who are literally dead inside, lackluster, not driven about nothing. Like they already like you can literally speak life into people because they're literally dead inside. So when you can kind of tell is when you speak the obvious, simple stuff, for what they can do to change their outcome or where they see themselves or where they see things. A lot of times, it's basically based off what you're comfortable with. Growing up around it, like me, I always paid attention to like the analytics in regards of what I'm doing, like what are we doing? Before I even speak on myself, before I speak on we, I speak on all right, what am I doing? So all I generally knew was to keep myself at work. I stayed working. I worked since I was 16, straight out of high school. And even when I got out of high school, when it was on and off that I wasn't working, I say, damn, I don't have any record or anything prevent me from getting a good, decent job. Why is it hard for me to find a job? So I went to the Strive programs. I went to the youth work programs on several different times on several different occasions. So I didn't even fathom to think like it's designed that way because we can't empower people that we are generally oppressing because it's too beneficial. Like, look how many jobs are created due to the fact that our lust of not being organized, not really like having a key idea of like what's really going on with today's society. We don't even know what's going on outside the United States. It got us so like brain dead that it's like we're programmed. Like that whole Neo Matrix spectrum is so like dead on. You got some people that like want to wake up from the programming, and you got some people that's like comfortable with living a lie and that's really actually just dying inside. Like I said, most of the times when you make somebody aware of something, they can no longer rely on their ignorance saying I didn't know about this. So now everyone is asking you and holding you accountable on doing something, even God. But again, that's a whole different conversation. Because a lot of times I say what I honestly believe in, the four biggest things that hold us back from a lot of the stuff that we're dealing with and even talking about. Organization, identity crisis, financial literacy, and then it's actually religion. If we remove these four things out the way, we would conquer the world. Us as a group, us as a race, us as a people. But when you say how is one more important than the other, I can tell you. Because if you organize a little bit, you get a little done. You organize a lot, then you get a lot done. But if you organize nothing, you get nothing done. And that's why the youth of our generation don't respect the older generation because when you ask them, hey, what are you guys working towards on bettering our future? They would tell you nothing. And we're comfortable with it because they're still just living in today's time. They don't work towards the future on bettering it for the next generation. It's not one thing that we practice that everyone else doesn't benefit from. Literally, it's a spot called Hip Hop Chicken. It's not even owned by Black people. Like schools, educating us, like the mother of what we suffer from is miseducation. The father of it is economic castration. So if we had a skill that paid a bill, then generally that eliminates poverty. But then at the same time, that eliminates the whole you got to go to college to become successful, because we know that's not even truthful. So we take the trades out of the school because we don't want to empower the same people we're oppressing. Like, ask yourself, what skill did you provide once you leave out of high school that you can generate money from right away? You got to learn about this as an adult as you waste your days away. But when you go about circling back on pursuing a trade, like me as a plumber, I looked online, I got to carry permits for me to do this work, this job, any kind of job we do. And then come to find out I could have got this at 16 and I'm 33. What's that? Almost 17 years?
Wow.
Like, it only takes you 7 years to be a master of your own trade, which in long term, you can sell your license to any company, whether it's dealing with construction, whether it's dealing with plumbing, whether it's dealing with electrician. You can sell your license to permit them to build anything that you see fit. And if they don't have the contract, then they can't do anything. So they get a plumber, they get an electrician, they get a construction builder, and they can utilize their permits to build their buildings. And underneath your license, you permit them to do everything that they necessarily need to do. You don't even technically have to do anything. You just say, hey, yeah, this is okay. Yeah, you can do this. Yeah, you can do that. You don't even technically got to touch anything anymore. So another key word we're missing when we're talking about going to work, we're working ourselves in the hole. We're making it seem like we're dogs chasing our tail because we're just doing the same thing on accommodating on paying bills. The key word we're missing is when you go to work, you don't ask yourself this one question. And the one question is, what are you guys working towards? Or what are we working towards? If you just ask yourself that one question on every day or every week or every end of the month, when you get up, you time stamping a common goal, and it'll be like a snowball effect, because once it rolls over, you go from one thing to the next thing, and then after a while, it's a big hill of accomplishing things that you want to accomplish or things that you got off your checklist that you can race off the board and put something else there in place of it. I ask my friends, like, yo, what's the move? This is my conversation every time I interact with us being on three-way or us even being on the phone with each other. If you're not talking about nothing positive, productive, then you already let me know where you at with it. So it eliminates the conversation to cut it short, because it's like we're wasting time with doing this. Like, doesn't even bother people that we don't own anything. It doesn't bother us that everyone else is capitalizing based off our lack of ignorance, organization, identity crisis, financial literacy, and religion. Now, again, organization is primarily number one, but identity crisis thing is number two, and that's even more, I want to say even more important, because when you don't identify what you are, where you come from, we're the only ones taught not to practice our history.
You never see me agitated. I think about my actions, plan them out, evaluated. That's how I end up on the top, man, I'm calculated. My mind's a